we have comfort zones. How many of you have places where you know you have a comfort zone? What we know is that the space between where the magic happens, which is where the fully integrated heart, brain, soul centered stuff happens, the synchronicities, the magic, there's a space. And in that space that space is connected to the disconnect that we have with the head and the heart. And it may be that we have a very heart-centered life. I have a very heart-centered life. I don't have kids. I don't have a husband. I can spend a lot of time journaling or contemplating or reflecting or getting an inspirational quote and laying down and contemplating it with my cat while my cat purrs and makes my vibration go up. I have a lot of time. However, I'm human, and there are times when it is not possible for me to get out of my head. I just can't do it. And so I need somebody or something or something else to help me, or I just need to stay in my head for a day or two because all hell's breaking loose. I love to spend my time where the magic is. I'm not always there, but when I'm there, man, I know it. Hopefully the tools that we'll give each other, that we'll share, will get you to be in the magic from a higher percentage of the time. Consider your environment. So I took this picture. I love this picture. This picture is not what my desk looks like, but it's all the things that are around in front of me. So if you notice on the left-hand side, I have my rose quartz and my amethyst. Both of those were gifted to me. I'm not a crystals person, but both of those were gifted to me by special people. I have my Start Each Day with a Grateful Heart journal. That is where the notes for this program downloaded, and I wrote down with my purple pen because I like to write with purple. I don't know why. It's just a thing that makes me happy. It ended up in that binder, which is that, it's got gold sparkly sort of things on it. I love that color teal. I found in Home Goods this pad that has the colors. Like I was like, oh, they match my binder and they match my rocks and they match everything. My winning Powerball ticket, which I haven't checked yet. So I'm already a multimillionaire. I just don't know it. My coffee cup that actually turned into a pen container that is Vision, which was given to me literally 20 years ago when I was working in a high-powered consulting role in the pharmaceutical industry. And the person that gave that to me, now I can look back and say, wow, she was doing the Vision thing back then and I didn't have any clue. I just thought she was a little airy fairy. So, but she gave me that, and now that sits a prominent place on my desk and it matches everything. And then my sticky notes all match. Do you notice they match? And each sticky note color actually represents a project that I'm working on. I have 3 major projects. I have the purple, the pink, and the green. I use those sticky notes if something comes up with one of the projects that pops into my head. And then I have an organization system. And then I have the yellow one. I don't like the color yellow, and I'm so sick of those 3M yellow sticky notes. I hate them. That's why I use them to write down anything that needs to be taken care of right away, because I don't want yellow on my desk. I want the nice colors on my desk. And so I will write it on yellow and it gets done because I want to get rid of the yellow sticky note. Weird games I play with my head. And then the angel next to the sticky notes was given to me by my nephew. And that's the universal symbol for love, which is really sweet. And then I have my dream coffee cup, which now has water in it, and my heart coaster. And then the lamp way over on the left, actually I bought at Salvation Army. I love it. It's so simple, yet it's so elegant. It's real brass on the bottom, and it's got this, like, it's raised. It's beautiful. I got it for $5. So you don't need to spend a lot of money to create your environment, but your environment is really, I think it's important. Star, do you have anything to say about environment?
Oh, I love environment.
Whatever's yours, however you want to set it up, or whatever colors, go with whatever you feel. And the other thing is that just this picture I did today, right? Yesterday, my desk did not look like that. It had a mess. And in order for me to clear my head and do what I needed to get done yesterday, I had to take 5 minutes and organize myself to make it so I felt good before I could go forward. Really, what I'm doing is raising my vibration. So it's just something to pay attention to. So just consider your environment and make little tweaks as you feel compelled to do so, and you'll notice the difference. Notice your perspective. I love this. I live in the Northeast where we get lots of snow. So the brain on the left side is saying, I hate snow. And the heart on the right side is saying, you're using it wrong. I love that. We will, you will, all of us will fear resistance. This is, I love this slide. It's like sort of the neurons of the brain all connected and all chaotic. And the things that bring us resistance are things like beliefs and thoughts and emotions and dread and fear and anxiety and all of those things that are just like, oh my God, this is overwhelming. But there's ways through it. One of the things that we have discovered, that book I mentioned before, what's it called? Star, you have
Reality Unveiled.
Yeah, I forget names of books, names of, movies and things like that. I don't remember the details. The path of least resistance and least trouble is a mental rut already made. It requires troublesome work to undertake alternation of old beliefs. And so if we're feeling resistance, we're probably bumping up against a belief system. And I invite you to consider the belief system most likely is a belief system, a set of beliefs that somebody else handed to you or gave to you or schooled into you that wasn't yours, it was theirs. And so when we get stuck or we feel resistance or we feel skeptical, it doesn't fit into our brain because it doesn't fit into our belief systems. And so if we can step back from old belief systems and just reconsider them and look at them as kind of like, all right, so that's what I'm feeling. I'm noticing that I'm feeling it. Maybe I might take a breath, a heart breath, which you will have practiced with homework. And we're able to actually step back and look at it for what it is and evaluate the data that may show us that that belief system might not be serving us or might not actually even be true. So and it might be, like, you get to decide whether it works for you or not, but it's not a belief system handed to you by somebody else, which is really important. Star and I are the masters of gentle nudges. And this is the key. Whatever you resist persists. So if you resist your change that's right in front of you, it'll keep showing up and showing up and showing up. You'll have another opportunity to address it, and then another one, and then another one. And that's just the way it works. So your brain and your thoughts. These are geeky, sciencey things that I want to just show you really quickly. This is our brain on negativity. So this is an actual brain scan and the places that light up when your brain is on negativity. I don't know what all those things in the brain mean. I probably could because I'm a science geek and I could figure it out, but it doesn't matter. This is your brain on positivity. There's a difference. Look at the two of them side by side. So the brain with negative thoughts, the brain with positive thoughts. And if you look at the bottom of the one on the right with positivity, that's the cerebellum that's lit up. It has 50% of all your neurons, and it's responsible for everything from the way your body functions to emotion.
This is the one that controls your balance, your decisions, your emotions. The cerebellum is kind of your powerhouse. So if you're coming from a more positive side, so much better. The thing that really, between the two is, I look at how much of your brain function is lit up during that positivity and
Right.
how much of your brain system is closed down during the negativity. So how much more of your brain you're accessing just being positive.
Right. I'm going to show this. This is a pretty cool short little video that is put on by HeartMath. And it talks about the connection between the brain and the heart. And I get the way the brain and the heart work, but this blew me away. So I'm just going to show you this and see what you think.
We did an experiment here at HeartMath to study how the information flows between the heart and the brain. And we actually discovered something quite remarkable, something that surprised us. The participants in the study were connected to various sensors to measure their brain waves, their heartbeats, and so on. And then they were exposed to various images. Some were high arousal, like a car crash or a snake striking, while others were low arousal images, like bunny rabbits and nature scenes. The participants were asked to push a button. They then saw a blank computer screen for 6 seconds. The computer then randomly selected one of these photographs that it displayed for 3 seconds. After that, the screen went blank for 10 seconds. And they were prompted to push the button again. They repeated this protocol about 30 times. When we analyzed all the data, the results were astounding. The heart seemed to know the images before the participants ever saw the images with their eyes. If the future picture was going to be one of the emotionally arousing ones, the heart rate started to drop about 5 seconds before the image was randomly selected to be shown on the screen. So nobody could know what this future picture was going to be. The heart had a much greater deacceleration than if it was going to be a calm picture. These results have since been replicated in many different independent labs around the world, actually. Well, a lot of people say that I don't feel it in my heart, I feel it in my gut. But here's what's really happening. The information comes to the heart first. The heart then sends a different signal to the brain, which we can measure. Then you have a brain response, and then a body response. And with the body response, like the feeling in the gut or the hair on the back of the neck, is where it becomes conscious. But the real flow of information is heart, brain, body. And this is all happening many seconds before the actual event occurs. So what this body of research is telling us is that the heart seems to be connected to a type of intuition that is not bound by the limits of time and space. But what is that source of intuition? What is the heart connected to? And how can we learn to tap into more of that?
That blows me away. And that Reality Unveiled book that we just talked about, just to put things into perspective, the author that wrote that book, having reviewed a bunch of data, all kinds of data, and is a brain expert, talks about us being able to perceive 4% of the energy that's actually happening. That's all we can perceive, with all the brain waves and the sound waves and all of the waves that are happening in the world. So getting more heart-centered, we're able to perceive more of that. Like I'm hoping I'm up to like 14%. What do you think, Star?
Yeah. It's powerful.
Yeah, it's crazy powerful. So the power in each of us, we have the brain, the heart, and the connection is where the power is. Have you heard about Emoto? He was a doctor of alternative medicine in Japan, and he studied the effects of music on water, words on water, and prayer on water. And what he did was he exposed water from the river in his community to music or words or prayer, and then he froze the water, and he looked at the crystals that were formed by the water as part of his experiment. And so this is what he found. Imagined by John Lennon, the music made these crystals in frozen water. Edelweiss from The Sound of Music. Ave Maria by Schubert. It's like amazing. Swan Lake by Tchaikovsky. Heavy metal, a little bit different than the classical music, right? Effects on words. So this is the effect of saying the word evil to water, just saying the word. This is what the frozen evil water looks like. This is what happiness looks like. Hope. I can't do it. I cannot do it on the left-hand side versus I can do it on the right-hand side. Amazing difference. The universe, like so intricate. Water crystal before prayer at the Fujiwara Dam.
Yeah, and that water was contaminated.
And then after they took the same water and prayed with a Buddhist prayer, and there was a group of monks that did it, that was the transformation of the water after the prayer. Just to kind of put it into perspective, there are some people that say this is crazy, but then there were, people that thought the earth was flat was crazy. There's a coloring page in your homework that you can write what brings you joy. The ultimate goal of this is to be able to have it someplace where you see it Well, you can be reminded when you're not feeling so great that you reach for something that brings you joy. Unfortunately, my joy list, the top of my joy list is ice cream. So that's probably why I've gained so much weight lately. For me, it's petting my cat or hot, clean, fresh towels out of the dryer when I go to take my shower, or that bath coat that I have that I love so much. It's also chocolate. So that's another weight problem, but you get the idea. Feel free to color it. Color's great. The next thing we're going to ask you to do is heart breathing. And there are two things in your home play in the teachable course. One of them is just a quick heart math audio that will walk you through the process of quick coherence breathing. And the second thing is my version, and this is what I teach, which is my own version of quick coherence. So I've added some things like you can anchor the feeling. For example, I worked with teenagers and I mastered heart breathing so I could do it when I'm standing in front of the classroom and the kids are crazy. I've anchored it because I know NLP. I've anchored it and I can get myself to that place, that coherent place, in literally one breath. And so this kind of shows you how to do that and gives you kind of some things. This handout is in your, it'll be on Teachable. And just to kind of give you an idea, when we talk about quick coherence, when the brain and the heart are not in coherence, there's staticky sort of, not a great connection. Whereas when the brain and the heart are in coherence, and you can get there with this heart breathing technique that is outlined for you, the waves are much more gentle, things flow easier, things are more, it's more calm, peaceful. No matter what's going on, you can still be calm. Like crazy teenagers throwing spitballs at each other, and I can still be calm. And the funny thing, you're calm and you just maintain the calm presence, because the energy in the room, it calms the situation around you. It's fascinating. And just to kind of give you a little bit of data, because I told you I was a science geek, this is a study that the Heart Math Institute did. This is just people practicing quick coherence breathing for 6 to 9 weeks. They did a study of 11,500 people, and these are the results they got. 24% improvement in the ability to focus, 30% improvement in sleep, 38% improvement in the feeling of calmness, 46% drop in anxiety, 48% drop in fatigue. And I can't read the bottom one. What is it?
56% decrease in depression.
Depression. So how many people think that this is something that our world could use right now? In the States, we could use this. Heart breathing all around. Then the next thing we're going to ask you to do, we need 4 hugs a day for survival, 8 hugs a day for maintenance, 12 hugs a day for growth. This is a picture of me in our community. We had a Be Kind festival, and the kids I were working with at the time decided to do a free hug team. So they got 12 kids together and they went around with their free hug signs and they gave free hugs away. We had just graduated from Canfield. I had come home and taught the kids how to do heart hugs, which is something you'll read about in your home play. And at the end of the day, we all went out for ice cream. And before our ice cream, we ordered our ice cream. And while we were waiting, the kids were just like, I feel like I'm smoking, like I smoked dope without the dope. Like, what the hell? And I'm like, you're all high on dopamine. They had been hugging people all day. They had like serotonin going in their bloodstream, and they were just like amazing. So what we're going to challenge you to do, get some hugs. If you live alone, hug yourself. If you have a partner, teach your partner how to do heart hugs. You'll notice a crazy difference. And if you're not a hugger, challenge yourself to just get some hugs. Thank you. Bye-bye.